music takes control. I'm caught in a trance. I surrender soul to the electric sounds. Feel the energy, it's electrifying. Dancing in a state of pure bliss. Lights are flashing, hearts are racing. In this moment, we can't resist. Feel the energy
What's up, Steve? warriors have engaged the enemy. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Research complete. Mineral field. Research complete. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Research complete. Upgrade complete. Research complete. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Upgrade complete. Research complete. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Mineral depleted. Mineral field.
GG. What's up, Billy? Taking some notes for Cheeseadelphia. I respect. Some last minute carrier builds. Alright, I'm gonna listen to some real boomer stuff about the stock market. Forgive me.
Chinese. But Musically was an app that was like showcasing your favorite music and dancing to it or lip syncing to it. So they both had like they both had like that as the organizing principle.
Yeah.
With Reddit, they build themselves as the front page of the internet. And what's interesting about Reddit is it is hyper topic dependent. Like nobody is on there like I'm promoting myself as Michael Batnick and here's a link to my blog post. That doesn't exist.
Right.
You're there to talk about a specific topic.
It's a chat room.
In a subreddit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a moderator who's insanely passionate about that topic, doing that work for free. And then the people in there are all anonymous and they can't promote their own shit.
Yeah.
Like literally the rules in most of the popular subreddits make it so that you can't drop a link to your blog post or your podcast.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right. Therefore, there is an argument to be made that Reddit is one of the only grassroots platforms amongst all the social media sites where it's not about promoting yourself. It's truly dedicated to discussing the topic.
Yeah.
If you're there for some other reason like self-promotion, you'll gain no ground there.
That's why I'm on Twitch.
That are there really want to talk about.
Well,
Pure self-promotion.
Bringing up MySpace and Facebook was that at the time we thought MySpace was
And
it.
carriers.
And I don't remember how long that lasted. And then look at the evolution of the whole thing. So
Yes.
when you assume that it's just going to be this one company that continues on,
you're dead right.
you're probably wrong. So if you thought MySpace was it, then Facebook, then Instagram, obviously we know what's happened since then. But the exception to that is something like Uber. Uber started, and then Lyft tried to come in, never really took it. Uber continues to be the leader, and now it's.
You know how hard it was to travel anywhere before Uber? You had to get like a taxi.
Tumblr.
Kids these days don't even know,
Tumblr
man.
was topic specific.
Although nowadays people don't even use Uber very
really
much.
Into,
It's too expensive.
Let's say
Going
like
back
a
to
certain
like
photographer.
public transportation.
Like if you were like a Robert Mapplethorpe mega fan, there were like.
Hello?
I said
Look at this
like
show off, dropping Mapplethorpe's.
If you were like super into that type of like that type of art, let's say, and there were 100,000 other people around the world that were into that, they would discover your Tumblr, and then every day there would be new uploaded, like in that case, photographs. Reddit was around at the same time, but Reddit didn't get big until Yahoo destroyed Tumblr. By the way, you know who destroyed MySpace?
Phil Perlman.
No, News Corp.
oh
Rupert Murdoch bought it, and he's like, all right, how can we make some money? And then that was the end of that. Duncan, are you a Reddit guy?
Not really. Occasionally I'll go there to find an answer to something.
Chris is a big Reddit.
Wait, what answers are on Reddit that aren't anywhere else?
How
You
can
can
you be
find a
sure
Reddit
it's
if you're like,
reliable?
what kind of shirt was so and so wearing? And this is you can find a Reddit where people are like talking about it.
Right. It's like hardcore. That's fine. So it's cool. Yeah. No,
Do you think
I agree with
Chat
that.
GPT was fringe or are people there for the
People are there for this.
hate?
Well, one of
Yeah.
the things that
It's playful hate in a lot of ways.
one of the things that Reddit is selling itself as is a data provider AI, and they claim like whatever amount of terabytes of data, but it's real user data. I don't think rivals like Google searches. There's a lot of activity in 20 years.
We need a compound Reddit.
No,
People need to start
No,
that.
definitely
People
not.
need to start that.
No.
I don't. I think so many.
We have enough comments. It's enough.
Yeah, it's almost cooler that there isn't one. Maybe somebody would start.
Underground.
Yeah.
Speaking of
I wouldn't be
photographs,
mad if somebody started
you
it.
brought up Robert Mapplethorpe. So speaking of photographs, we have a birthday coming up. So the compound team to give Mike something.
What's up, Rocker? Thanks for the raid.
When is it?
Goated stream.
On
Goated
camera.
stream.
Say,
Yeah, it's very thoughtful.
very cute. Let me say, is that the picture of you with Eli? Oh my god. Oh, and it's in a little Giants jersey.
Oh, cute.
But there's more.
Oh,
Eli, you grew up
I know
around
about
money.
this.
Yeah, I mean, this is stock broker, Cooper's been in the business for a long time. What is it like being a rookie and having to learn the industry, the language? I mean, I sort of assumed that, like, you were working with them, but you sort of figured you're part of the team. You're doing the work.
Right. First off, it's the first time my dad has ever been introduced as a stockbroker ever in the history. And
Archie Manning also played football.
Archie Manning, the stockbroker, world famous. Yeah, he was known as picking the stocks. It just sounds funny, but
Hey Michael, this is Archie Manning, the old stockbroker, wishing you a very happy birthday.
Oh, of course, that is Archie
Happy
Manning.
birthday.
Thank you, guys.
Archie Manning, one of the great stockbrokers. Wishing Michael a happy birthday. Shout out to Nicole for making that happen,
Fall
by
to
the
the
way.
Yeah,
Jones.
good idea.
John Maynard Keynes and
That's
Archie Manning.
That's Michael's favorite stockbroker ever, Archie Manning.
Amazing. Thank you, Nicole. Love you.
Well done. Well done. All right. Hey, John, what show is this?
Friends, episode 135.
Today's show is brought to you by T-Bill and the U.S. Benchmark Series. Josh, ETFs are all about being at the right place in the right time, and T-Bill was in both of those places. It hit $3 billion in assets, and it only launched in August.
I thought it was going to be around for a little longer. It's already $3 billion.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Why? Well, with 3-month yields today over 5%, it's a great, easy way to lock in higher for longer, which the Fed just said, a little bit higher for a little bit longer.
So T-bill is the U.S. Treasury 3-month bill ETF, 15 basis points in fees, which is pretty low, and it's an easy way to bring 3-month yields into your portfolio right away. Click on one ticker symbol, boom, own it, no questions
Boom.
asked.
And if you want to get surgical, T-Bill has 10 ETFs called the US Benchmark Series covering every part of the curve from 3 months all the way out to 30 years. To learn more about these products, visit USTreasuryETF.com.
That's USTreasuryETF.com. Episode 135. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Compound and Friends, episode 135. So excited to be here today. Michael's in the house, John is here, Duncan is here, Rob is here, Nicole is in Hawaii. Aloha, Nicole. We have a very special guest with us, returning champion. No, you are. You are. We have video evidence. Our friend, ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to Liz Young.
Almost exactly a year later.
We didn't plan it that way, but it's pretty cool that it turned out that way. All
Well,
right.
the title of last year's show was Somebody's Gonna Be Wrong.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
well,
us.
it was
All of us.
It was me.
Your warriors
Who
have
else?
engaged the
All right.
enemy.
Guys, Liz should be no introduction, but I'm going to give her one anyway. Liz is the head of investment strategy at SoFi. Liz also authors a blog called Liz Looks At and makes frequent appearances on CNBC. Prior to SoFi, Liz was a senior strategist at BNY Mellon and a portfolio analyst at Baird. Liz, welcome back.
Liz, come on the mic table number 2.
Dude, what?
Like a bat mitzvah.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. So Michael and I did Dan Nathan's show yesterday, where you're a regular with Risk Reversal Media.
I am.
Guy kind of big timed us. He wasn't there. Were you
He's
a little,
such a punk.
I
Isn't he?
annoyed by that. I said, "Where's the old man?" And Dan goes, "Oh, he's not here today."
I hate to break it to you, but he was there when I got there a few hours later.
No, I subsequently learned that Guy was there later, which was interesting. So did he wait? Did he wait to see us exit the building before
Yeah, he
turning
was
the corner?
outside.
Well, listen, we're so happy to be with you. You and I had a pretty important television assignment yesterday. We anchored, we hosted. The main point to me, we're gonna do some Fed stuff in a minute. The main point to me, though,
Does she have an OBS here or
if you were
something?
overly bullish going into that, there was literally nothing you could have heard that would have changed your mind. And if you were bearish, you kind of had to wait because you just didn't. They didn't throw you a bone. It was like dovish. It was like optimistic. It was like everything that the Bulls were hoping and more. And I guess that's why we got 2 more days to party on.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of a honestly.
Yeah.
The projections changed, obviously. We went up and I don't know that we should have been all that surprised by that, given how the data came in. The estimates for inflation went up a little bit. Okay, I think the market was afraid that maybe he'd come out and say we're going
What's up,
to
Soren?
only twice this year and not 3 times, and they just changed it for 2025. Which honestly, I think that's something that we keep doing as a market, and maybe this happens every cycle, but this one it just feels more acute. We just keep push it off into the future. Like we'll worry about it.
Yeah.
Where okay,
That's what I do.
What's up, Dave Testa?
Just deal with
just
it later.
procrastinate it away.
So,
I
you,
don't-
so
I
you
don't
were
enforce
surprised. You were surprised by the stock market's move. I was. I didn't.
Yeah, because
Given
I
what
mean,
they
I didn't
said.
think it was a ton of new information.
There was no new information. The market bought the rumor, bought the news.
Right, but the other thing that's interesting is that a year ago,
What's up, Soren?
we had changed the projections to say that inflation
What's up? Thanks for the sub.
would go off on it. Now they changed their projections to say
I
that
just spilled a drink all over myself.
and we're
It's
like,
just
"That's
water,
okay.
though.
Yeah, growth is
It's not
strongest,
tequila.
we can absorb it. We've
Or
got wage
vodka.
growth,
It could be
people are still
vodka.
spending, jobs are plentiful.
Although,
So it's okay,
has
we can
bubbles.
absorb it. And I really do wonder if, because he did make a point at some point during the
Struggle is real.
that stop anchoring basically.
So, what went wrong here?
That was abnormal. That's probably not going to happen again.
Gotta
It was-
pause this. I gotta think. Because I should be able to get my expo up. And not lose it. It's like it's called the Compound Inference on YouTube. Thanks for the follow. You're watching the new Roadhouse with what's that guy's name? The UFC guy. Such a boomer, I don't even know. Alright, so we get this in, so this is good. This should just be game right here. Like, the game should be over. I have a battery, 4 stalkers aren't going to do anything, and I'm going to kill, like, a lot of probes. Not targeting. So yeah, I only get 6 probes, which isn't that great. I didn't see the Twilight Council, so I didn't know. I saw a building here. I didn't know what it was. I didn't click on it. And then I built a Void Ray, which is good. This Twilight Council, though, screws me. It should be a Robo. Or I should just keep building unit. Actually, I shouldn't even be building this Twilight Council yet. I should be warping in 2 more Stalkers. That's where I went wrong. Needed to warp in 2 more Stalkers here. Hey, I still do. Okay, that's not where I went wrong. Where did I go wrong? Oh, I canceled the Void Ray. Made a Phoenix. Eh. Battery's a little late. But it gets up. Yeah, I guess just moving out here is not the play. Got 9 stalkers. I'll have 4 and a Phoenix. And I actually have 6. This will be done when he walks. Yeah, I'll have 6 and a Phoenix. I could hold this easy. So I'd have 6 Stalkers and a Phoenix against his 9, and a battery against his 9 Stalkers. So I would have held that if I wouldn't have moved out, probably. And then I could just hold my... I wanted to sleep, but now I want to grind. Grind, Soren, grind.
And I wrote this in my blog, kind of take off your shoes and get comfortable.
Be the
We're gonna
Protoss
use
you were
your
meant to
level.
be.
Let me quote you. One of the points Powell made was about pre-pandemic level of rates having been abnormally low. The spirit of the message is that we shouldn't anchor. Like, we're not going back there.
Right.
And then you said, in other words, he reiterated that rates would remain higher for longer and that our recent gauges of neutral were probably off base. Right. People think neutral is 2% interest rates or lower because that's what it was for 15 years.
Oh yeah, dude. I know they made a new one, X-Men '97 on Disney. Gonna watch that.
Yeah.
So I like
Dude,
that.
I
I
love
like
the
that
original
takeaway.
X-Men, man.
I don't know if the market's seen
Nah.
that yet and digested it. What do you think?
Well, I think what
Great
what
show.
they're recently digesting is maybe this whole time.
I wonder if the
that
new
that
one's any
higher
good.
treasury
They'll probably
yields and
butcher it.
the conversion curve is still something that just doesn't add up.
Is it good?
This whole time that we've been at higher yields,
Alright, I'll definitely check it out
a
then.
lot of them were used to was, and I think I said this too in the blog, we weren't conditioned for that, but maybe last year and this beginning of this year is getting
Nice.
conditioned.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
We're a year plus in now.
Right, and 2022 was the painful part of we broke our muscles down, we were sore for the whole year, and then we came into 2023 like, okay, new
Nice
era.
Terran.
And maybe we can sustain some of this higher inflation. I'm not totally sold that that's the case. I'm also definitely not sold that we can sustain 5.5% Fed funds rate for the foreseeable future.
Well, who do you
But-
think has to get used to that then? Because
Fed
I'm
funds
looking,
rate or
'cause
inflation?
I'm looking at
Guys, interest rates are
an all-time
crazy.
high. Citigroup, not an all-time high. Bank of America, also not. Goldman, yes. JP Morgan, yes. These are all-time record highs. So when we say people have to get used to it, are we talking about portfolio managers? Are we talking about like investor psychology? Because the financial system seems like it's just fine with whatever we have we're dealing with right now.
I think mostly it's
It's not a
investors.
2-gas.
And then I also think that it's corporations that have to borrow to finance this. And that just hasn't come home to roost yet. You've got the corporate maturity wall that
We see his expo.
until
It's good.
2025, 2026. So then again, we're just going to
These are all good
We'll worry
things.
about that later.
Right.
And hopefully rates will be lower by then, so it won't be a concern.
I started building my
Portfolio managers, I think,
pylon on the
have
high
tough
ground
time
again.
with
I mean on the low ground
this.
again,
You're a
because
portfolio manager. I mean, you guys
I
know
lost a
most
game this
managers
morning where a guy
you have some sort of mandate.
spies going to the moon when rates
And you
go
have to
down.
own whatever you
Who
say
knows
you
when they're
know
gonna
in your
drop? I mean,
statements.
they've
And you've got
announced 3
you've got
rate
an
cuts
index
this year,
that
but
is being carried by a bunch of stuff that you just aren't going to own.
I
that's
don't
on mandate. That's a tough thing for portfolios. Portfolio
I
managers
don't think
to
they're ever
be
gonna
able
go
to
back.
that
I don't know for sure, but
thing that I do,
I think it's gonna take a long time for us to get back down to where we were,
and how do I survive my way through
or
stuff.
like
So I
if
think
ever.
there's-
Like those
there's
were like
different
emergency
parts of
type.
personal experience that you have to get all of last year,
Nice.
I feel like I was wrong. Looking
Should be
at it
dead,
like,
right?
wow,
If you're a
how is this?
portfolio manager,
I'll
and you're
take
saying
one
how
probe
many
for a
stocks
Reaper.
we'll have in any stock is 2%.
I'll take that.
And then you have a stock that becomes 6% of the index, and and by the way, it's the best performing stock in the index.
For
What are you gonna
12
do
months.
about it?
Yeah.
I think one of the areas that the market might have been worried about. When I say the market, that's not true because the market had gone straight up into this meeting, so I can't say that with a straight face. I would say maybe market pundits have been worried about is that the re-accelerating inflation and the continued growth in the Fed maybe at 5% longer than we anticipated. And but Powell said no, because he said strong hiring in and of itself would not be a reason to hold off on rate cuts. No, not all by itself. And I think that was something that the market keyed on and said, okay, I guess we're doing this.
Kinda
The
feels
market's
like,
strong,
3
the
racks.
market's strong, the economy's strong, the labor market's strong, and we're
I'll
going
go
to
take one more little gander here.
Yeah. I don't think that he's going to go as
Battery.
as people think he will. So, obviously it's a vote, so it's not just him, but he has veto power for the most part. So
It's a chairman's board, though.
Yes.
They don't divide.
I think that the Fed is going to have more stamina
Nice.
than the
All right, we
market
get in.
wants them to when it comes to.
Oh, it's
I agree with them. Of course, the labor market in and of itself is going to be a reason hold or cut.
This build.
But if they get to a point where hiring is really strong and inflation has moved back
Yeah,
up,
we
I
just
think
want
that,
units.
The answer to that question was assuming inflation held either constant or lower. Getting closer
Building a
to
void ray.
if
building
inflation
immortals.
goes back up, and we've kind of stalled out for now, it hasn't gone down really that much more. Let's say it goes back up for whatever reason, and then they cut.
I do need my Colossus.
Their threshold of pain is going to be higher than what investors.
I agree with you. They also said that.
Yes, but they adjusted their forecasts because of the data that came in. So they did move core PCE up. So noise or seasonal, right? And they're waiting to see if that actually was the case. And the statement that he continues to reiterate, and I'm going to choose to listen to him, is we need to have more confidence that inflation is on a sustainable path toward 2%. And he said yesterday a number of times, we
Hello?
will get to 2%. We will get there. Now, they don't think they're going to get there
You might not get a rate cut this year.
but
The enemy.
What happens if
Possible,
the,
not
what
probable,
happens? What
but-
happens to the market if we don't get a rate cut? Because the economy is really strong. Would that be bearish or bullish?
I think it's bullish, yeah.
Market's
As long as
telling
the
you it's
data
bullish.
doesn't, if the data continues
So I
strong,
love that answer because I think the knee-jerk reaction would be well, it's bearish.
yeah.
Yeah, but I hate that.
Right.
So this
No,
is
good news is good news.
Liz and I have talked about this. One of my pet peeves is people that are like, "Ooh, I hope things." I don't mind cooling off on the inflation front, but like you're rooting against strong job numbers, like that I never understood, and I don't think it's reality. I don't think people in the real economy. Now we part of that, like, strong job growth is not a reason for us to be concerned about inflation. You could have job growth and disinflation simultaneously. Like that was my
Okay. Not the best trades I've ever had, but
now we can get out of this game of I hope too many people didn't get hired.
Right. Well, and
We're
I
not
think
dead,
that's a
so
good
that's
point.
good.
We should just get through that a little bit more so everybody understands. What I think he's saying too is the labor market was way out of balance. We had all these open jobs. We got up to 2 open jobs for each unemployed person. Way too tight, which is how wage growth took off because companies had to pay more just to get employees in.
I need to start building some. Well, do I even need Phoenix in this game? Probably not.
And it was an employees market. People were getting paid tens of thousands
Just
of dollars.
transition to ground.
No, right. People were getting paid tens of thousands of dollars for mid-level jobs just to like walk across the street and go to a different company. So of course they were doing it.
But that's
And
over. The
that's-
job switch.
That's over. So it came back into balance because the JOLTS numbers, which is something that we talked about actually the last time I was here, came down pretty quickly. So the
Quit rates.
right, and the quit rate actually is now back to a normal level. So JOLTS came
Needed
down,
obs.
so there aren't as many jobs open, but still plenty open where it feels healthy. And then you did have new entrants into the labor market, or maybe re-entrants into the labor market.
You got immigration,
Right. So,
legal immigration.
but it keeps the wage price spiral fear at bay.
Yeah, I agree. I want to talk about the 10-year. The 2 year's not really moving as a result of these comments, which makes sense. 10-year did a little Irish jig this month, right? Is that what would you call this? Can we put this chart on screen, John? This is the 10-year Treasury yield. Now 4.28%. Really big rally starting from the low in March, was around the 11th. And they ran it up. How many basis points is that? About 30 basis points. And it's back here. That's a yellow light flashing for stock market. I remember 3% was really consequential. And then we blew through it and we got over it. And now it's okay.
But where should the 10-year be given where?
I'm hearing technically this level right now 4.35 or 4.5.
I'm hearing technically.
I'm reading people's notes saying that could be a level where the equity market says, "Oh wait. I was good with a strong economy. This is too much for me." I don't. It's mythical, and it only becomes true if enough people believe in it. But how are you thinking about the rise in the 10-year? What if it keeps going?
Well, so if it let's call it 4.35 just to have round numbers. The break-even inflation rate, the 10-year break-even is 235. So that means
Engage the enemy.
the break-even rate is basically taking a regular treasury security, which moves with the inflation rate. The rate that's the break-even is where you are indifferent between the two.
Right.
And what it's supposed to do is suggest what inflation might be at over that period. You can look at 2-year break-evens, 5-year break-evens, 10-year break-evens.
Wait, but break-evens are not very predictive.
No, but if we're talking about like in this moment, if we're looking at the 10-year, where should it be? This is the thought process that I would take. If the 10-year break-even inflation rate is 235 and the 10-year yield is at 435,
Okay.
that means that the real yield,
Getting ready to A move.
right, is that reasonable?
Just need that 2-2.
You take the
inflation-adjusted.
nominal
Yeah, yeah.
yield, 435, minus what we would think inflation might be, 235, and you've got 2% left.
Right.
So is a real 2% yield on a 10-year treasury reasonable?
Is that a reasonable expectation
I think
for the
so
next
too.
10-year
I think so
period?
too.
Given GDP growth, it's in
If-
line.
Yeah.
So if the market was about yields rising, I would look at
I think the market does think it's the yellow light for stocks.
Well,
I think it's probably-
because wait, before you answer that, because what I mean is by yellow light, what's the level at which 10-year treasuries start to look really tantalizing versus equity risk?
but cash
Yeah.
already is there.
Yeah.
Like if that was the
Is
thing.
cash in the 10-year or is cash in the money market?
Okay, 2-2's done.
If you're a
Let's go.
investor,
You could buy short-term ETFs that get you the cash yield.
I agree. But if you're a dividend stock, dividend stock,
I think the red light is fine. The yellow light is somewhere between there, and it's probably above 4.75. But I think the red light is 5. We already experienced that. Mortgage rates hit 8%. Everybody hated it.
yes.
And then we corrected.
This was a good one anything that we say about the action? This is just at this point a function of like when the Fed moves, not if. And
Well, this is like an hourglass, you know, like they. It's an hourglass that's
get it while you can.
as we get
by the way.
as we get closer, because this will change fast as soon as we know when that first cut is coming.
When the first
Or
cut
as
is
soon as we're
coming,
near
all
the
right.
end.
So when the first cut is coming, describe that process. Anyone that's a buyer of the 2-year, all of a sudden knows that the bonds that are in, let's say, a 2-year Treasury ETF, are going to start rolling off as they mature, and the new bonds purchased subsequently will be at a lower yield.
Better check, make
Price
sure you
for
didn't take
ETF,
these
that's
expo.
SHY.
Well, also the two-year's not going to be for the Fed to say, okay,
No.
like,
No.
it's
Once
gonna,
we
it's
have-
gonna go.
right.
So where will the 2-year be by the time? Let's say we're going to go up. I don't know. Is it going to be down to 4%? I have no idea.
Well, I think if we hadn't moved expectations for the first cut out so quickly, the 2-year would have been down by now,
Yeah, yeah.
right? We thought we used to think it was coming yesterday.
Now
That
we
was
have three-
supposed
now
to
we
be the
have 3
first
months.
cut. So it stayed. But if you look at, I was trying to pull up the whole yield curve, but I don't multitask very well. But if you look at where it gets kind of wonky, it starts to actually get wonky at like 12 months right now, which means that the market is pretty sure that we're going to get a cut this year. We're going to get a cut inside 12 months. And if that keeps getting pushed out, then it's still a good run for a while until it stops being pushed out.
Well, here's the dot plot. Here's where the market is getting.
You guys all learning?
And this is
So-
Bank of America.
It's all making sense to you guys?
Key
Doesn't make
takeaways
any
from
sense
the
to
Fed's
me.
dot plot for 2024 data.
What are dot plots?
Raised expected real GDP growth to 2.1%. I think as recently as December, the Fed thought maybe 1.5% GDP growth.
1.4.
1.4. Now we're at 2.1, so that's a pretty big uptick in 3 months. The Fed lowered expected unemployment rate. Okay. Kept expected PCE inflation at 2.4. That's no change. Raised expected core PCE inflation to 2.6%. So that's the higher for longer. Expected Fed funds rate expectation 4.6. Am I reading right? Okay. Right. So next, all right. So
Also, people should just to be clear. But just to be clear about this, we talk about this on TV a lot, and we say it as if Fed they didn't really. Everybody had a vote. All the dots got put on here as a vote.
Barefoot. What should I make of that what
She
is
needs to run faster for longer,
Yeah.
I think is
Tricked
that
ya.
means.
what's going on here?
What's going on here is that they keep moving it up. And if you watch
Moving what up?
moving up their expectations of and they changed, which this got kind of buried in the data. They moved the neutral. If they can say what they project as the long longer term, right? So blue
Beyond
dots,
2026.
blue dots are yesterday. Red dots are Saturday.
Just killed my own Archon.
There's a few more higher than there were in December.
Fed funds rate like it's 2017.
Well, and if
We're
you
just
are,
not living like that.
if you're hoping for that, then you're hoping for a crisis. We're not getting to that unless there's a crisis.
Exactly.
So this is showing that the members think that long-term rates will settle.
GG.
Yes, but the long-term neutral rate moved up just a little bit. So I have to look. I want to say it went from 2.5 to 2.6, so just a tiny little bit. But basically, that was the soft way of showing higher for longer.
So the two biggest areas that are impacted by rates are people that are waiting to buy a home, right? Obviously, they're completely naked, exposed to interest rates, and commercial real estate. And companies that need to roll their debt, obviously.
Which is a lot of small cap companies.
Which is not the SP 500. That's
Right.
Main Street, right? That's like normal people.
Yep.
Are those the two areas that are most in need of a rate cut? Would you say?
Well, small caps seem to be doing just fine without one. And
This week.
right. Well, and I mean, we've been
But
talking
just
about
turn it to
commercial
like
real estate being
the economy, Main Street, not necessarily stocks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there is a part of consumer lending that would like a rate cut. I mean, if you look at just the average credit card rate right now, and although that hasn't done anything yet, that at least not in the big data that we look at, but the average rate that people are paying on credit cards.
Autos too?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, and I mean the number of people that are underwater on an auto loan.
But the example.
Because are you
But the example.
Badly.
Mike, party of one.
But the example that you used about people waiting to buy a home, in no way, shape, or form will a lower mortgage rate help those people.
Well, we don't know
No.
that. We don't
Well,
know
what
that.
do you think happens
We don't
to
know
housing
that.
prices?
We don't know that for sure.
Do lower mortgage rates usually lead to lower housing
I
prices?
agree with you. I agree with you. But you can't say that definitively. It's possible that the majority of the gains are behind.
Dude,
us.
if rates go down,
But they're still
housing
elevated.
prices are
Home
just
prices are
gonna
They're
go
not coming
up.
down.
Like, what are we
Right,
talking?
well, okay. However, there was some data today. Existing home sales came in today really strong, above expectations. And then if you dig deeper into it, the supply of homes actually was the most. It was the biggest gain in supply in a year.
They built some stuff.
So
But
existing homes.
But people
though.
are listing. People are listing.
People are listing,
Oh, existing
exactly.
People are listing.
Existing
Okay.
homes. So the problem has been that the market was frozen because nobody wanted to get out of
Right,
their 3%
right,
mortgage to
right.
get into a 7.5%. So now it's like, well, rates came down maybe a little bit, and mortgages follow the 10-year, not the Fed funds rate.
What are they now? 6?
Well, if the
No, it's
10
still
years at
higher.
435, if you add about
The lower
300
rates-
basis points, it's usually something.
Demand
like
is
that.
what it is, but lower rates will also unlock supply because, to your point, those people are stuck. They're like, I can't get out of this mortgage.
Right.
I can't do it.
Well, or at what point do you you get to the level where it's like, okay, I can't be in this house anymore. We've either outgrown this house,
don't
my
care what
job
the mortgage
changed, what
costs.
I
Yeah.
just we have
Yeah.
to leave.
By the
Yeah.
way, 25% of home purchases are cash buyers. Those
That I don't believe that. Like,
No, you should believe it because you know why? That's people in our clients' income and wealth bracket buying their adult children.
I wish I could buy a house outright in cash. That'd be nasty.
$5,000 house or higher.
Let's buy some houses. I know, dude. It's only going up.
That and your income, your 30s, your income is $140,000.
You should buy a house.
I know. So the problem
It's like the
prior
best investment you'll ever make.
to now it's not just the down payment, it's
Now
also
it's, and your
the
rate, and your
monthly
rates up.
So your flood rates. Now hopefully the rates come down. Sure, the down payment is still egregious, and most people are probably going to need help. But at least hopefully it's small.
Very rich
Well,
people.
I think
Very
what
rich
Josh's
people
point is that
are buying
rates
houses
come
for
down.
cash.
I don't know what the threshold is. Maybe it's 4% in the 10 years.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
6 handle on mortgage rates or something. Then you get a bunch of people that come into the market who weren't in the market before, now thinking that
For sure.
on a relative basis, hey, at least they're not 8%. I'll
This
take
is-
6
oh,
over
that's a
8.
good point.
But the
This is
interest
what I've been waiting for.
But the
Right.
interest rate is so impactful. So even if home prices rise another 5% from here, if you get
Got 'em.
7,
Nice.
6, you're still better off.
Yes, and if you're a first-time home buyer, you don't have an anchor to say, well, my last mortgage
You didn't
was
have one.
4%. So to them, when they wanted a house, it was 8%. Sounds pretty good.
Anyway, the housing market is totally it's bad.
Don't buy a
So,
house.
so I want to pivot. Where do we stand on middle-aged men in leather motorcycle jackets? Or like, is that
I
what's
feel like that's a leading
Response to
question.
Billy's
Who we're
chat.
talking
is that
about.
is that what's on
He's old, huh? How old is he?
40s, 50s? I think he wears the shit out of that jacket. I'll tell you right now.
40s is middle-aged?
Yeah.
It's up to
Okay, fine. I'm 47. I think I'm middle-aged.
43.
All right.
Jensen's 61.
61. So is he not? He's not a senior citizen until he's 65.
He's a youthful old
He's
man.
rocking that motorcycle jacket. Is the point?
Yes, he is.
I like a motorcycle jacket.
I think he looks great in it, and I think it's kind of like.
What do we think this guy's doing?
But it's cooler.
Yeah.
in
Josh and I
many
were
ways.
talking about how we can't pull this off.
Definitely
Many
up to no
reasons, but
good.
What he has, that what he doesn't have, that my idiotic jacket did, he just has the zipper. There's no like big flaps.
It's called the lapel.
He doesn't have the
A
lapel.
lapel.
Yeah, I had giant lapels. It's
Okay.
not a good look.
Your
Michael has
leather
giant
jacket.
lapels.
Oh, I know what
don't
this
if
is.
that's breaking
He's
news.
floating a factory into my
All
base.
right, as much
This is the
as
innovation
investor
build.
attention is out
Yeah, yeah,
there,
yeah.
like,
Okay.
Jones
Good. I just watched this game.
I would say we are seeing
Get
a
wrecked.
similar level with now NVIDIA.
Yeah, I watched GSL too, bro.
These are some of my takeaways. NVIDIA announced what seemed like hundreds of corporate partnerships. So if you're not, quote, doing something in partnership with NVIDIA, do you was kind of like the takeaway. They had brands on screen and corporate logos from really every segment of the economy, from healthcare.
I knew just because I saw the
It
SCV
was just-
going home.
It was really impressive.
Second I saw. Oh, what are we doing? Don't let him land.
Scrutiny is the wrong word. Just adoration. Because when
Nope.
Apple was doing its thing,
Don't get
they
to
were
land there
first
either.
but, like then there was Samsung, but then there was also like Amazon and Microsoft and for the attention. NVIDIA is just on the top of the mountain, all by themselves. Defining the category.
I mean, I can't talk about individual stuff.
Apple was ridiculed when they were doing product pretty much every time. Like,
Billy, you said you might play a lot of Terrence tomorrow for your Cheeseadelphia.
that's where most of the
Don't forget about this build.
They weren't invited to Cupertino.
There will be at least one player that tries to pull this out.
Working it out from Brooklyn. They weren't like Steve Jobs or Tim Cook live during an Apple product presentation. They were saying, "Oh, that's too big. That's too small. That's too ugly. That's too slow." Really
Future tech.
Look how lame that U2 album is that they stuck on everyone's device. Like
So it
that's
was more critical. They were more critical in
If you
NVIDIA.
talk shit about NVIDIA, fine, you can.
Yeah.
But you better know something about the technology. Because this ain't a laptop. Like this is a whole. And so I think there's some element of almost like intimidation. Like, does somebody want to criticize NVIDIA's new GPU? Do you know anything that
Yeah.
would like enable you to have an opinion?
Well, and didn't-
Most people don't.
I don't know if I want to take the
He
expo
said
until I
something
confirm
about
that he.
they came up with a new chip that
The
now
expo'd.
ma-
It's so
basically
big, it's
makes
the biggest chip
everything
ever.
else obsolete. was
It's called
suggested.
the black
Dude, what is this guy
hole.
doing
And the
now?
pivot that he did was
People
like
clapped at the size of the chip,
was
which was amazing.
upgrading the ones that he sold recently and like turning that into like a SaaS revenue stream.
Okay. Okay. But you have to basically redo everything that exists. You get like all the stuff that we have right now.
But nothing exists. He said we're not taking market share from anything. This is a brand new company.
What happens to like all of this?
It's fucking
Well,
factory,
that's
dude.
okay, so that was what I was trying to get you to. But then that we have to go through a whole
If
life
you have
cycle?
if you have a cloud computing architecture that's CPU dominated, your cloud cannot handle AI workflows, and therefore it's already obsolete.
All right, what's the plan,
All those
bro?
boxes out
You're on
and
one
put in
base.
GPUs, and that is the
Are you on one
NVIDIA
base?
versus Intel
What if you just had a
story.
CC
So
here? That'd
recently,
be so
now
sad.
Intel CPUs supposedly
Is he really gonna do this
are
again?
there to
Are we still
support
doing this?
GPUs, and it's like everybody has to get it. Like Amazon, Microsoft.
Oh my
literally, like,
god.
have
Maybe this is a
that
bait
has
to
been
try to
valued.
kill the.
So
I think it's a bait. I think he's trying to be
and that's very expensive.
be smart.
So if we're
That's why I only sent
taking
2 stalkers
all of
this
it,
time.
We haven't yet priced in the fact that that's
Why Super Micro became the hottest stock of the year? Because they are the.
I tried to
like,
short
it's-
Super
it's
Micro.
the-
Fucking
It's the service that can like cool off.
Fucking
Like it's because
crushed me.
non-linear processing is faster.
Yeah.
So yeah, for some reason,
Oh no.
it's for reasons. Well, and this is not
So then the price
Yeah, don't ever try to short anything that has to do with AI. I learned the hard way.
leg up once
well,
we
if,
start
if
this
Microsoft runs the largest public cloud, okay, Azure. So if they are ordering these $40,000 Blackwell GPUs, right, it's not to put them in storage. How are they putting them out there? Brand new facilities, and that's not just chips. That's all of the other equipment, including networking equipment, including like physically building this stuff. So between that and what's going on with the CHIPS Act and just like fabricating semiconductors, there's a really big industrial component to this chip story. It's not just the chip story. I wanted to mention the sovereign AI trade. So Jim Cramer had a one-on-one with Jensen Huang, and I think it actually is going to run tonight. Tonight would be Thursday night at 8 o'clock on CNBC. If I'm right about that, I'll be watching it. But Jensen was talking about sovereign AI, which is this thing where he was saying every country needs to have its own artificial intelligence and basically upload its entire culture to a sovereign AI that like is owned by the people. And so that's probably his pitch when he goes to Saudi Arabia. And he's like, hey, you guys should, the people should this intelligence, that's your culture. You know China's going to do this on their own, with or without him. But that's another, like that's a really big market. If every country decides it needs to spend X billions of dollars to build their own AI,
Isn't NVIDIA not allowed to sell to China because the chip's too powerful?
no, they could sell a degraded, they could sell an old chip or a degraded version of the new chip. They can't sell their top of the line stuff.
Got it.
That's right. But China they'll figure it out. They'll build
Is
their
there
own.
an NVIDIA of China?
I think Huawei and a couple of other players are like saying that they're doing their own AI.
Can
So
I?
would
in
know?
this whole thing, like, who's to say there's not some other company that comes out of nowhere, like
It's so
the
expensive.
Instagram did to?
But it's too expensive to come out of nowhere. Like
Is
the
it?
amount of money to get these
What
things.
if it's an existing company that has the capital and
Liz, the large language models will do that. They'll be free. People will come up with specific ones for specific industries. There will be open source ones like we saw with Linux when it came for the Microsoft Gemini.
I'm gonna play a not carrier build this game, so I'll probably lose.
But more likely on the software side.
But we're
On
gonna
the
try
chip
it.
side, if the cost to develop something like Blackwell is, I don't know, $30 billion in capex, nobody's coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what the bulls will tell you is why NVIDIA's like a 10 to 12-year story. Because it's like NVIDIA 70%, AMD 30, and ... Oh, right? It's so that's why people are so bullish. The last thing I want to say about this, I'd love to get your take. part of me feels like this has to end in a massive bubble. Nvidia's 34 times earnings right now, forward earnings. That's not a bubble. I don't feel like this can just fizzle out or fade into the background. So to me, there could be this moment out there where Nvidia becomes the largest company in the world.
Like 5 trillion.
Like it passes Microsoft, Apple, and then Saudi Aramco, and that's where you sell it. But then I could also picture, I was talking to Dan Nathan, that's probably why I can picture this. I can picture another version of reality where they report a quarter, next quarter, the quarter after, where results are spectacular, but guidance is soft, and the whole planet Earth is so I don't know what to think.
We are way too reliant on it. And part of
That's
sentiment-wise, we are.
Okay.
So this is the question I keep asking myself. I keep talking to others. Think about what happened when it all started. Think about the companies that we thought were going to take it forward and be the winners. You know, AOL, for instance, or even remember like Napster, how you used to steal music.
Maybe you
all
did.
The stuff.
Sure. I was a LimeWire guy.
All the
not,
stuff
not,
I did,
not to
I
brag.
definitely Napster.
Okay.
But all of the things that we thought were going to be the winners in the late 90s, early 2000s, and we didn't even know what the internet was going to be. We didn't even really know the utility of that. We didn't even know how you could make money off of that yet. And later on, 10 to 15 years later, we figure out that it's advertising on social media. We figure out that it's e-commerce, and all these companies had to come out of the woodwork. We had apps that made people millionaires overnight. All these companies got created in spaces that didn't exist. The internet was just the beginning of that theme. So AI is just the beginning of this theme. Right, so it's not to say that NVIDIA will fail or that they're going to come out and disappoint everybody or it's not true or anything like that, but I'm willing to bet that the theme evolves enough over time that in 5 to 10 years' time, we're talking about stuff that's related to AI that we don't even know about right now. And there's a bunch of new companies that have come out to do whatever those little related things are. So I think all of this...
Or the Mag 7 owns all the related companies.
It's true. I mean,
Well,
also
seriously,
possible. Yeah.
Microsoft announced a new PC today that's going to have a Copilot button on the keyboard. This is how serious they are. This is like, to them, this is the entirety of the future, is getting people to use AI-enabled apps. All the workflows are taking place in Azure. All of the software companies that are creating these apps are hosted in Azure. And all of the end users who are utilizing these AI tools are going to do so with Microsoft hardware and software as their starting point.
What if the Mag 7 and the next Mag 7? And that's...
Drop your mic.
Can I
Well,
show
the
you-
Mag 7 is no longer
Can I show you some
the Fab 4.
Test this out.
Can I show you some Google Trends? So Google Trends is looking at search terms. It expresses in a number of 0 to 100. So these are not absolute search volume numbers. These just show interest in a specific term relative to the highest point for that term over the selected period. Or you could do this by region, but I'm showing you, I think, the Earth.
What is the term that we're looking at?
So the first one is a 12-month Google search for word. So that peak is February, mid-February, and I don't know the reason why.
Was it earnings?
But this GTC developer conference, we did not hit that prior February. No, they just reported earnings recently.
So what was that?
I don't know.
Is this updated? Because I feel like this next week is Tuesday.
This might not capture today. I think it captured yesterday. But keep in mind, 12 months. So, all right. The next one. So this is 2004 to the public, like since the existence of Google.
Okay.
So you can see there was search traffic for.
It's not what I was trying to do.
If you were a gamer, you were constantly trying to see who had the best game card.
Upgrade complete.
And it was usually NVIDIA, the graphics packages. So, but then you can clearly see, like, this is now at 100. Like, the trend is, like, this is now the most important number. So to Liz's point, we might be, like,
Upgrade
focused
complete.
way too myopically on this thing. And
Well, listen, if there was ever going to be a short-term top, like him speaking in front of 11,000 people with celebrities in there, like that would do it. Let me derail this conversation.
Did they put him on Time Magazine or whatever? Was he the most important person on those yet?
I don't think he can be
That didn't
person
happen
of the
yet. It
year.
has to be now. You know that it's last year. So this is his year.
Yeah.
Who else you gonna give it to, right? Okay.
To me, let me derail this conversation for 1 second. I was looking at
Archie Manning.
Archie, yeah. I'm looking at the top gamers in the S&P 500 year to date,
Okay.
and one of these things is not even close to like the others. I honestly I think I was looking at a stock in 1990 during middle school like stock picking challenge. I remember looking at the stock. The ticker is RL.
Your warriors
Ralph
have
Lauren,
engaged the
the stock is up 32% year to date, and it's like going vertical, and I don't even know that this, like, what the hell is this story with Ralph Lauren?
Is there some kind of merger in
Josh,
there?
No, men's fashion is having a moment.
Plaid is back.
No. I'll show you 5 different apparel companies. You'll be like, holy shit. And they'll look like biotech stock.
warriors have interrupted
It's like
the
literally Abercrombie and Fitch is having a huge resurgence.
Oh my god, that is another one.
They did.
What is
Abercrombie did
happening?
like a rebrand. They did like a
They're all doing that in Europe. So there's a huge center between authentic brands and Simon Proper, but the mall, the mall that had all these brands that were going bankrupt, they bought all these brands and they basically propped them back up. How hard is it to make? Look, it's an apparel company. So.
Well, I mean, part of it, if you look at, there's, staples companies, like I'm looking at the list of staples I like. Procter & Gamble's up 11% this year. Costco's up 13%. Like,
I own a bunch of staples.
those are companies that you don't expect to make double-digit returns in 3 months, especially in a time when people are worried about high rates. So I don't know if maybe some of it is we expected the consumer to track. There's so much expectation for the consumer to track that now it's like, oh shoot, we got all these stocks, we gotta get back in.
I'm in Shake Shack. It's one of my
Mineral
biggest
field
positions.
depleted.
The
I've
stock
heard
just
about
went
that.
from. I know you have. But the stock was high 50s. It's almost 110, and they had a good earnings report.
Take a move out there.
Right now, but then
That
I
micro,
feel
though.
Wingstop. That chart now, holy
Is
shit!
it Wing?
I rarely look at
I think it's Wing.
Wingstop.
Wow.
Look at this fucking thing. I mean, it's what do they do? Double lemon pepper? Like, is that the new innovation?
How big
Okay.
of a company is that?
It's not big, but that's the
Okay.
point. These are small caps. Shake
Yeah.
Shack is a $3 billion market cap.
By the way, getting
What is
back
the
to
rotation?
Napster. Kids don't know. It used to take like 24 hours to download the album. Probably not even. That was like burning CDs. How long did that take?
Burning part was that.
That got
You
fast.
download it.
Yeah.
You had to really want it.
And you'd go back and check.
Warriors have engaged the enemy.
Right? We just had
I used to make all these mix CDs for girls. No, I did.
yeah.
Yeah, they weren't bad.
You put album art.
No, I think I did that with cassette tapes actually. 'Cause that was way earlier. I wouldn't have had them with me before. I know that.
How did you make it listen?
From selling double cassette tape decks. Really important for other people. But what we used to do was when it was
Oh yeah.
stop talking, like would stuff come on, and it was like it was a sort of like you'll see for hours.
They did the countdown. They did like the top 10 every day. So you would just wait. If you wanted one of those, and it sit you in line.
Get off that line.
Yeah. Yeah. You got it right. You got it just right. When you hit record with no DJ voice, and you hit stop at the right time, it was like you
But so we're
disappeared
nostalgic for
cancer.
those times for what? Were those really better times? Like
I mean,
seriously?
they were simpler.
So I'm so glad you asked that question. The audio book for the Beastie Boys, which came out a few years ago, there's a whole chapter. I think it's either Mike D. reads the chapter. He explains that carrying physical CDs or physical tapes around was really meaningful because you only had enough room in your pocket for 3 tapes, or right, or if you were at a Two's Logic, maybe you had like 8. Because it was in a cargo case.
That's why the cargo short was invented.
Well, if you left the house at 8 a.m., you lived in Manhattan, you left the house at 8 a.m., you didn't get back till 8 p.m. that night. The whole day, you had like 3 cassette tapes on there. The one that was in the Walkman and the 2 others that fit over your wallet in your pants pocket. So you really had to be invested in that album. And not only that, you would constantly take things out of your pocket so people would see what you were listening to. And it was like a sign of who you were. It's like, oh no, I'm cool. Because look, this is what I listen to. Nobody has to make these choices anymore. And the Beastie Boys' argument was that it values our connection to music when you anything at any time, you don't have to make a choice of what's on in the car when someone else gets in.
But that's good. I don't want anybody seeing me with my Simon and Garfunkel cassette tape in my
I think it's
pocket.
good and it's bad. I think it's good. I think it's good and it's bad. John, I said to John, bring in some records, but we have a record player in here. And John had to choose. What do I not give a shit about? Something right? And he brought 14 albums in.
Fleetwood Mac.
No. I know you did. Slow, easy, Vampire Weekend. Thank you. But I know that you were thinking, as you were stacking up these records, the people are going to see that these are my records. What are they going to do? Come on. Okay. Well, right. You don't mind me taking it, but also you want to know. Okay. That's the connection to physical music. I have no idea how we got there.
Well, and I remember what's also lost is listening to all the way through. If you remember, like, so Alanis Morissette. But I can still, you start every single song.
Dude, I am so bad at playing like ground styles. Jesus.
Nobody knows how to do that.
No idea.
No, because and the bands they're not even releasing.
I really
music
got to
that
work
way.
on this.
At this point, if you're a big act, you're just releasing a song every 2 weeks because you need to
I mean,
stay in
do
the
I though?
conversation. And
I'd
maybe
rather just
once
build
every 18
carriers.
months you'll collect 12 of them and say our new album's out.
Yeah.
But you're certainly not doing that to try to sell units.
You can
So
expo a
sell
lot quicker if you
30,000
do this
albums,
style.
it's
It's
a
pretty.
huge deal.
This move out
bands
is like
millions of records.
ridiculous.
And it's just not the game anymore.
I
So-
think
Or
remember when that track number 2 on that album was
fuck,
whatever.
dude.
So I
Oh
try
my
to get nostalgic about that
gosh.
period of time. And I'm glad that
I think it's like 4 stalkers and 2 oracles that don't kill anything.
I'm amazed
Move
at
out
how
with
awesome
4
it is.
stalkers
I'm glad
and
that I
2
had that
oracles at
experience.
6 minutes and 30
Nicole will not
seconds.
know that.
Take notes, people.
Really?
No. Nicole's 20.
Mass Hydro Mass Immortal.
Alright,
Yeah, I can have
a couple of other things before we lose you.
Just need enough
fund
robos.
managers are the most bowled up in 2.5 years, according to Bank of America. It's not a good reason to sell, but it is really interesting that we should all be aware of that if you're bullish, so is everybody else. So who's coming in to be bullish? No, but is that a good way to think about it? Like,
Man,
you
I'm
don't
so
have a lot of
slow.
potential
There's so
buyers.
many things I need to be doing. I'm just not doing any of them. I wanted to be setting stasis traps. I lose all of these gateways. Because I didn't even realize he was attacking over there.
Right, this is not a good entry point. If I own it, I'm going to keep riding it. It's not a good entry point if you don't own it. So when you start to look for
I did like going Colossus though. That one Colossus actually like kind of saved me a little bit. Need to be setting revelations more.
21st, right? Like 20th record this year. So there's so much area and there's a debate.
Zilla run bys are at least good.
I think that a lot of this stuff is assigned.
My upgrades are good, but I'm forgetting 3-3.
Mike, you and I talked about this before the show.
I snipe this
Just ride
space,
it,
I kill
you
this
know, like,
space.
if it's happening, let it keep happening.
Don't remember the fact that it will end. Like, enjoy it while it lasts.
Right, I mean, at some point it will end. At some point it will end. And then we'll debate how painful that is.
Here's the percentage net overload. This is also Bank of America. Fund managers
Yeah, this is scary. He's only got 1-0 too. Like, imagine if he would have gone like
February
upgrades with this build.
2022.
He could have
So
like
this is
2-2
a
right now.
financial survey, obviously. So this is just what people are saying,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a
And this is like the worst choke he could possibly attack in. And if I would have just warped in some sentries, like, he wouldn't have been able to get up the ramp. He doesn't have any Ravagers. And he still just gets up.
Are we ever at a point where everyone's positioned
No.
and then the right thing happens?
So it's not just
You want to walk over you like I do at first. Exactly, that's exactly what he's trying to do. It's like, alright, time to A move him.
investors, retail investors are getting both American Association. The bull bear spread is fairly ugly. However, I would describe this, at least by this metric, as optimistic not euphoric. Basically, we broke it down. What happens to this in 500 by decile 6 months later, and the only
I
information
mean, he's pretty
that is in
broke
this
at this
chart-
point, isn't
when
he?
this is, by the way, the only information
Yeah, he's
is
not
that
even
when-
able to like max
when
out
there's
now.
extreme
And I like so much money.
then things look pretty not great on the
Return is 1.6.
Man, I built so many probes.
Yeah, so
102
other than
probes.
that, there's no signal here.
So this is saying
I need another
that
base,
over the
really.
last- this is saying that the 6-month return going forward from this level of optimism is 4.4%.
Yeah.
Which is like I guess what you would expect a 6-month return.
It's
to
like
be.
in line with every other bucket
Yeah.
except for the 10.
Very exciting.
It's regular.
So I want to double click on why would you bullish. This is the way that I'm thinking about it. Like we're still taking after all that we've been through. We've just had people in our lives for years. Historically, that is not a thing that is typical at all. Now, granted, one of them didn't last very long. I would argue the societal effects of it will last forever. But then we had another one. 2022 was a get their market every stock and the bond market at the same time. We had 1 million Americans die. We had a riot in the Capitol in 2022. We had the worst inflation spike in 50 years. Captain Marvel 2. Batgirl was so bad they threw
Yeah,
out
that was
a
pretty good.
film and
The
bragged
end
to their
there,
shareholders
the
about tax
DTs.
write-off. But meanwhile,
man.
earnings are growing again.
That takes a lot of
Consumers are
multitasking.
defying
You gotta
everyone's
really be doing a lot of
expectations,
things.
especially mine. Wages are strong but not boiling over anymore. Jobs are everywhere. Cash has a massively positive yield.
Goldilocks?
And there's a technology revolution underway that people are literally forced to spend on. So, if you're not bullish now, when would you be?
Yeah.
I guess. Like,
Yeah.
what would make you bullish if not for
Yep.
the layout that I, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I think
Do you concur, Doctor?
why would we not concur?
Yeah. So all right, I'm not bullish. Okay? What would make you bullish?
It was hard to get bullish last year when it was just a handful of stocks and it wasn't
this is
yet
better.
it
I
wasn't
agree.
yet confirmed that the economic data was good. It was
And the
like the
stock
economic
market
data
wasn't
was
confirming
kind of
it.
meh.
The stock market is confirming it.
But
Transport.
only a handful.
Not really.
But Liz, to your point,
Towards
we
the
also
end,
had
yes.
earnings still negative.
Right.
We don't have that
We
now.
had an earnings recession.
Yes.
No, I'm saying
Yeah.
right now, every
Right
stock
now,
is participating.
Totally
for
different.
the most part. Yeah.
Totally different, which is why I think you saw at the end of the year and into 2024 a lot of the shares were low. And then you saw strategists clamoring over themselves trying to raise their year-end targets because everything got blown out by
They
the
don't
end
want
of
to get.
February.
They don't want to get Mike Wilson like everybody else. Good job.
I thought cautious, being cautious in mid 23 was reasonable, right? Like given everything that we had been through, given the fact that yes, it was a handful of stocks, but now it's a different market environment. It's hard to find losers.
I think you had to make the turn from the rhetoric to strategist was fault when the earnings rolled turned positive. That was the time. For me, it was when Nvidia did that blowout thing in May, because I had been looking for like an AI. What ChatGPT in February, I was like, we're gonna have an AI bubble. But when Nvidia had that blowout quarter, the stock went up like the most yourself, like a market that has that kind of risk appetite is going
Yeah.
up.
But if you didn't make the turn then, you're not making it now. Why would you? I wouldn't.
You have more career risk now.
Yeah, of course.
Becoming bullish at the top of the market might be worse
Way worse.
if we're at the top.
Way
Yeah.
worse.
Most consecutive days without a 2% decline in the S&P since February 2018. We're now on 270 days without a negative 2% day.
Wild.
It's extraordinary, right?
Well, I was saying to Liz earlier, like, there needs to be something that's not in the market right now. There needs to be an outside event that knocks us off our track. It's not just
Perhaps.
stocks aren't just gonna.
Ant-Man 4.
So
Go ahead.
Hear
What's
me out.
Well, so the way that I look at it is crises happen. If we're assuming that something needs to knock us off, of course.
I'm not saying crisis,
Crises,
but we need
well,
news.
Okay, big drawdowns,
Fine.
right? Whatever, shake the tree. They happen for, in my mind, one of two reasons. Either it's an external event, totally exogenous, a pandemic, or something that is completely out of financial markets control, or it's due to excessive risk taking over a period of time in the market. Look at what happened 2007-8. Obviously, we had excessive risk taking, not just in people buying homes, leveraging more homes. So the consumer was taking excessive risk in their own real estate,
The Minsky moment.
and then all
Yeah.
of the financial firms were taking excessive risk, borrowing off of what the consumer was doing, right? So then you had this excessive risk wrapped up in itself, and eventually the tide went out and everything fell apart. And it was so painful because it was both the financial system and consumers wrapped up in it. Now, I was talking to Mario, my analyst, about this before we came here. Where is the excessive risk? The excessive risk is perhaps being taken in some of those crowded trades. But is it, I don't remember which one of you said it, is it to the point where it's a huge bubble yet? Can we say that it's
We've had
excessive?
14 IPOs this year. Does that sound like a bubble to anyone?
No.
So we're 1 quarter through the year, believe it or not.
Well,
somehow.
people will point to
Well-
the meme points, but that's so fringe.
Well, but maybe some of that is it.
Research complete.
The whole thing about it, if you think about it, is exposure, right? The reason the global financial crisis was so painful is because everybody was exposed. So even if there is excessive risk taking happening in crypto, or if it's happening in a handful of names that everybody's clamoring for, maybe it's not enough exposure to take the whole system down. So even if that does break up, fall apart, whatever, and turn into something that it does shake the tree, all of America
It's not big enough.
is not
If-
exposed to
If,
it.
right, if Bitcoin got cut in half, it would go
Right.
from 1.5 trillion to 750 billion, probably back to a trillion the next day. But whatever.
warriors.
If Bitcoin got cut in
Oh.
half, one S&P 500 company that's counting on higher Bitcoin for any of their earnings.
Right.
You can't, because
Right.
it doesn't exist yet.
The one thing that is interesting, and I didn't put this chart in the show notes, but if you look at the comparison of how much Americans have exposed to real estate in their net worth and how much they have
Your
exposed
warriors
to
have engaged the enemy.
in their net worth, the amount in the last 4 years that they have exposed to stocks has skyrocketed, obviously. That starts to look a little out of whack with just the long-term trend of how much people, it's usually on an upward trajectory, but it crossed over the amount that they have in real estate,
that
the amount they have
surprises
exposed to real estate. It's back under there a tiny bit right now, but they're like neck and neck. So the last reading I have, actually it's a little more,
I'm not
44.8
surprised,
trillion. in
But
real estate.
stocks appreciate faster than today's home prices.
Well, in this cycle, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So 44.8 trillion in real estate, 27.5 trillion in stocks.
I'm really glad you brought that up. That's a great segue into that's the last thing we're gonna hit. Ben Carlson did a great post. So much money everywhere. And the idea is why is the stock market going to all-time highs? Well, it's because everyone's doing really well. I don't say everyone, obviously not. But let's put up, John. Let's put up household net worth hit an all-time high in December of 2023. So a couple of important things here that I want to get to. Total household assets hit 177 trillion. Total household liabilities, which is the red on the bottom, is negative 21 trillion. I mean, we are like, I know there's a national debt level, but on a household level, people are doing really, really well. So in other words, net worth, which is gray, is assets minus liabilities. Household net worth is 156. Like, I mean, just look at the growth in that in the last 10 years. It's extraordinary.
And more than 90 trillion of that was in real estate stocks.
Yeah. So, here's the next one. this is household assets relative to liabilities since the great financial crisis. This will take us back. This goes back further, but we'll start here. At the bottom, March 31st, 2009. Household assets versus liabilities. And you see that we went from 5x to 8.6x. So we have much more assets than we have debt, even relative to ourselves 50 years ago. Stock market obviously has been hugely influential in that. Last one. Households are growing their assets much faster than they're growing their assets. So we have are not this goes back to December 2020, so the entirety of the fiscal period. With household assets are 32%, liabilities 4%. That's spreading widely. So people are getting richer faster when they can spend the money. And in the wealth management world, financial advisors basically have had conversations with clients like, listen, your portfolio has done way more than the original expectations you had. So either you can take less risk, or we have to dial up how much you want to spend, how much you want to give the client. You know what they're doing? They're saying, oh, okay, great. Instead of a down payment for my son-in-law and my daughter, here's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so why are 25% of the houses being purchased for cash? Because of asset price gains that people don't even have a way to spend if they wanted to on themselves.
The rebuttal that you would get, not necessarily from me, but especially in an election year, we'll hear about this kind of stuff. The rebuttal that you would get is, yeah, household assets have gone up at the expense of government debt. So we just transferred
100%.
the liability off of consumers, off of Americans, and put it onto the government. And now they're stuck with it. And the interest expense, if you look at the Congressional Budget Office, the projections of interest expense, and if rates stay this high and we keep borrowing at the rate that we are, is like off the charts in the next decade or so. Obviously not sustainable. And then it continues to be, well, when will that be a problem?
It's like reverse taxation.
But it's like, will it ever?
Who owns most of the government liabilities? We do.
Right. But will it ever be a problem? I mean, what party is gonna practice enough austerity to change that? Because you don't defend.
I don't like to conclude this and say it doesn't matter. It's just a debate that's been had since the dawn. Like literally.
Same way that we almost shut down the government. It never really happens, but
Liz Young, ladies and gentlemen. Can you just come back once a week or do this every week?
every other.
Hey, we always have to show a favorite, and we'd love to hear what you think people should watch, paying attention to, listening. Like, what are you?
Well, actually, I found Michael's before the show. Like that. So last weekend,
Gosh, dang it, dude. So I would strongly recommend it, and it's obviously not in. Gosh dang it, dude.
Whatever AMC.
I knew he had his freaking stalkers there too. I wasn't fast enough to react.
The scores like really hold up. Like you almost don't even need to watch the movie again.
What's the best spaghetti western?
Well, the trilogy. So
The
the,
Good,
man
the
with
Bad, and the
the
Ugly?
Man with No Name trilogy, which is Clint Eastwood, Sergio Leone, the last one is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
I haven't seen any of them.
So my recommendation is just watch the last one. The first two require a ton of patience and are not modern movies. I think they're great, but if you're not a cinephile, but the third one is a modern movie. It's probably the reason why were even able to be conceived of. It's so gigantic, and basically Clint Eastwood, and I think it's a Mexican bandit, and they both end up as fugitives, but they're chasing the same. You've definitely seen this movie 1,000 times, right? They're chasing the same cache of.
Won 5 games in a row. I told you to grind. I didn't realize he was 2-gate forging. I wouldn't have pulled probes or canceled my second gate. I thought it was just a cannon rush that was just like a really weird one. But if I was, because he scouted pretty quick. I don't know. I knew he was doing something with that probe. Kind of just overreacted to it. Like if I would have just done nothing, I probably would have been fine. Funnily enough. If I would have just like not scouted it or worried about it at all, I would have been fine. Idiot stalker? Hello?
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Across the oceans wide, under the sky so vast, we journey through the world, each moment unsurpassed.
Dude, I just cannot catch a break. I can't find his proxy. Does he have a proxy? It really seemed like that was proxy.
Beneath the endless sky, we're travelers on a symphony.
Fly right into his stalkers.
Through endless days and nights, in the trance of adventure, our spirits take flight. Embrace the world from the desert's silent beauty to the forest deep and green. Each landscape a masterpiece, in the most vibrant scene. Oceans rich and diverse, our hearts transcend. Travel is all we need, in a symphony of sighs, exploring the world beneath endless days.
I was at 49 on my fucking super battery. All the way over here.
Travelers on beat.
Guess I just need to play a safer version of it if I'm gonna play it. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow.
base is under attack.
Dude, I hate the pathing on these maps. It's so stupid.
Of my own mind, a journey to discover what I may find. Through the highs and the lows, all I've said, in search of a life that transcends. The oceans over the sea.
Shit, turn on my...
In the abyss of time, we find ourselves lost, drifting through the moments without counting the cost, chasing after meaning, but it's always out of reach, searching for the answers, but they're buried on the beach. Life's a fleeting dream, slipping through our hands. Moments come and go.
Research complete.
Grains of sand,
Man, my micro is bad. Jesus, I like move commanded into his whole army shooting at me. Wang. Wang.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Base is under attack.
Grind City, baby. Let me in. Should have tried to kill a Marine. That was not smart micro.
Research complete.
What's up? Oh my god, what is this? Dude, what the fuck? What is he building out of these? Like what? Seriously, what? Siege tanks? Sounds making 3 more next. That was wild. He's gonna go siege tanks, I guess. I mean, that was really lucky. I've never seen that before. I just always build a pot. I thought he was doing some sort of drop or something. Well, what I've had this one guy do two. What I thought his plan was to either do a Hellion drop with the reactor, or this Chaos Fate guy keeps doing a reactor 2 Cyclone into a mine drop. So even though they're going the reactor Cyclones first, which you know, they might show, you still have to be prepared for a mine drop afterwards. Proxy siege tanks. Hearthstone did it in a video. Yeah, that was pretty lucky. Dang, I got a text, I didn't even realize it. Shoot. Lost my probe, so now I have no idea what he's doing. Think he'll try the same thing?
Research complete.
I usually like to get 2 immortals, but I guess I'll just have 1 this game.
Base is under attack. Your warrior base is under attack. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Base is under attack. Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Shit, I lost my ops. Oh my god.
Mineral field depleted.
That was a mine drop coming to my base, isn't it?
Base is under attack. Base is under attack.
Well, not really sure what I was supposed to do against this, to be honest. I kind of almost broke him, you know? But I guess I lose. GG. Alright. Yeah, I don't know. Like, no one plays like these mech builds and stuff, so I don't know what to do against them. Maybe I should just fight it sooner. Felt like Phoenixes were pretty good against them. Like maybe I should just like, I don't know. I only have 2 Phoenixes though. Is a problem. I need to get to a higher Phoenix count. It's 3 base versus 3 base. I've only got 52 probes because I don't know. I guess I wasn't macroing very well. When I see this drop, it's just like too late. Like, what am I gonna do? Pretty much all in. I have no tech. Kinda can break him if I don't F it up. Yeah, I don't have quite enough units. Probably need a little bit more use. Honestly, like the SCVs were a real problem there. I don't know. Scout. Yeah, I should have sent the first Phoenix across the map. Look how early his 3rd base is. He's just like hella greedy too. Oh man. Yeah, that's why I lost. I mean, he built a 3rd base on location at 4 minutes. That's crazy. Forward 15. Yeah, it's unfortunate. If you go like a Blink Stalker build, you're gonna have no problems against this, but Phoenix builds really aren't that great against it. I mean, Phoenixes, once you get high enough count, are good, but early on you just don't have enough Phoenixes. I mean, at this point, I'm already way behind. Jesus. Just from letting him get that expo out. I just like move command right into that obs. Or that mine, and it kills my obs, which was bullcrap. I mean, still though, we were pretty kind of close to breaking it now. Because he did a double mine drop. Alright, well that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do against that.